Hey everybody, Jewel back again, talking about Sun in the 6th house today and what that's like when somebody has this going on in their birth chart. So, the Sun represents our ego, our vitality, our strength, a lot of our goals. Our expression has a lot to do with our personality and what we show to the world and what we perceive, as our talents and our strengths and what we really put out there and what we want to be seen for, where we want to shine in life. And so whatever house contains the Sun is really, a big focus in the life when it comes to how one wants to express themselves and be seen in the world. It has a lot to do also with the father, government, power, the Sun, and with health as well. It has a lot, it has not as much to do with the physical body as the ascendant, but still has a lot to do with the physical self. So the 6th house is, the house of service, health, analyzation, efficiency, small pets, domestic issues, everyday life. Not domestic issues as, nurturing, mother, things like that. More just, the day-to-day of living and of keeping a home and family, things like that. So, routine is very much about the 6th house. Work. And daily work, not so much our career, not so much what we aspire to be, but what we end up doing, or what we have to do, or what we have to do to pay the bills, or it's more the drudgery of the day-to-day, not meaning, that you can't have that, that awesome job that is your dream job. It's just that's, more found in the 11th house, 10th in the 11th house there. So it's, more about the day-to-day of living. And the 6th house is really different than other houses in that it really doesn't represent an area of life so much as a style of living, an approach to life. So it's very different than the rest of the houses in that regard. So the focus is really on how the energies are used in the 6th house. Because, the house, is, the house of daily everything, and the way, we get our daily needs met. And this is our strength and our vitality and our ego. So it's a lot about how the energies are allotted in their life. They spend a lot of time thinking about where their energy is going to go and where it should go and where it deserves to go. So they're picky about what they do. They're picky about what kind of tasks they will take on. They're very picky about that routine, not as much as Moon in the 6th house, no, but still, routine is important to them. Now, you have to look at everything in astrology because I teach you one thing at a time in these videos, and then we put everything together, when we look at a whole horoscope to see, everything. But we can't do that unless we learn one thing at a time, and then we're able to, use that all together. So that's what I teach you, one thing at a time here. So you have to look at everything if you want to see a complete picture of the Sun. Now, you could have somebody with their Sun, with Uranus and have a very different something going on here. They aren't about routine. Or you can have this house in debilitation and have the the ruler in a hard aspect to Uranus and the Moon, and it's not like that. It's very different. I'm talking about just the Sun in the 6th house. I'm not talking about any other aspects to it or any other planets in it. This is just the sun in the 6th house. So, just that in itself, they tend to be very concerned with how their energy is being used, and they want to make sure that it's being used properly. They're picky about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And typically, they are very much about efficient use of their energy and their drive and their talents and their ego. They want to be careful about where they put their focus. So, using their energy economically, really big. There tends to not be a huge amount of personal ambition when we see the sun in the 6th house. The sun, generally, it's weaker when it's coming through this curve of the chart. It's not, expressing its full, its full rays, and it's getting towards, the house of others, where, the sun really doesn't do well. So, if you have a sun in debilitation, a sun in fall, or, a sun that's not, doing well in a sign, and that sign is on the 6th house, you're going to see more issues with use of energy, lack of ambition. A lot of times we'll see lack of drive to achieve a difficult or encompassing or expensive career. They're not into a big career. They're happy with jobs that, are in the service industry, or that are, trade jobs. These are great service workers, great nurses. Nurses, with their sun in the 6th house, they actually enjoy it. The drudgery and the paperwork, the routine that comes with it. And, this is the house of health. There's a real affinity for those types of things when, it's here. So, healthcare workers, nutritionists, very, very common, with sun or moon in the 6th house. Doctors, veterinarians, this is the house that rules small pets. I also put pets in the 5th house as well. Very common to see veterinarians with lots of planets in the 6th house. And they tend to, they like, customer service. They're good at it. A lot of us, customer service will make you hate people, but people with, with a lot of planets or the sun in the 6th house, they can tolerate it. They tend to, in this life, they are learning to use their energy efficiently. And that even occurs in their jobs. So, jobs where they are not expending huge amounts of energy are very popular with people with sun in the 6th house. Inside jobs, desk jobs, things where they're not, really working up a hard sweat. These tend to not be athletes, people with their sun in the 6th. That can be, different. You could have Mars here with Pluto and, Jupiter, and have somebody that's unstoppable. But usually these are people that are tending more towards more sedentary type jobs. This is the house of enemies also. We find, our open enemies in the 7th house and in the 6th house. This is more, and also, hidden enemies in the 12th. Enemies that we find in our daily life and in our work life, diseases, things that we don't really want to deal with very much about the 6th house. So these people tend to run into more, at least perceived enemies in the workplace than other people do. They tend to have clashes with their boss. You also have to look at the 10th house ruler, if the 10th house is ruled by, a strong sign or a a sign, you know, a very masculine planet or a fiery planet or Saturn, you can see somebody that has a lot of, you know, butting heads with the boss in the workplace. So, oh, health-wise. So, oftentimes, people with Sun in their 6th house will have a chronic health complaint. And very often, you can look at the sign that the Sun is in, and that will show you the area of the body that is the issue. So like, you know, Aries, it would be the head, rules the head. Saturn, knees, joints, skin. Pisces, feet. Libra, the back, especially the lower back. This can be something, you know, whatever sign the Sun is in, they can either, you know, have an injury that they are chronically nursing, or is this chronic complaint very often with Sun in the 6th house. So that's something that they need to work through, and it's something that they can get hung up on as well. They can end up expending a lot of their energy on this, you know, nursing this this complaint. So they do well to get out and focus more on things that are not about the minutia of their bodies. You know, and aspects from the Sun, you know, from Saturn to the Sun and the outer planets can really give you a clue as to the severity of whatever complaints may be going on as to health. So that was my analysis on people with Sun in the 6th house. Hope you enjoyed this. You can find me on Facebook at Truth in Aspect Astrology. You can also find my business partner, Seth Roback, on YouTube as well. I'll put his link up here at the bottom. And I am on Facebook. You can find me at Truth in Aspect Astrology. And yes, I do consultation. Just email me for more information. And I will be back soon with another super cool video. Bye-bye.